I wanted to give you guys an update on what's happening over here at Grip and Rib. I recently just got a new job, which may affect the days that we upload, but we're still going to be pushing for 2 videos a week. It is going to give me the opportunity to build the bike out how I would like to build it, and I'm super stoked for what's to come later on. And now let's go ahead and hop into today's video.
Dude, it feels so good to be back on the bike. We haven't ridden in like a week now since the last time we recorded, and the weather is absolutely perfect today, bro. Alright, so you guys saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. Today we are going to be talking about the Talaria Sting versus the Sur Ron X, and pretty much why we went with the Sur Ron X at the end of the day instead of getting the Talaria Sting, which is the newer, more improved version of the Surron, basically. Alright, to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, to give you guys some backstory on how we even got these bikes. For the longest time I lived in the city and I needed a little grocery getter, something to run to the gas station and stuff like that, so I didn't have to pull my car out of the apartment and, you know, just having a car was a hassle living in the city, so I needed something like this. And I searched for years and could never really find anything that I really liked that could be road legal, until one day, one of our friends posted on his Snapchat story a bike that was the Surron, and I asked him about it. I started looking into it, and I was like, okay, this thing might actually be okay. He gave me the specs, told me about the bike, told me that it was all electric, a lot of mods for it, and I knew immediately, like, this was going to be the thing that I needed to get. So once I made up my decision that I was going to get a bike, I took it to Ethan, and I was like, look, dude, I really think you'd like one of these. I know you grew up riding bikes. It's going to be something pretty cool. We can get around town on them and probably even daily drive it if we want to. So after him doing his own research, he decided we got to get them. And that's how we ended up with 2 Surrons. Nonetheless, I'm actually super stoked to continue learning about these bikes and other bikes in the industry. For the most part, everybody's really supportive of everything and they always have some good ideas. If you have any questions, you can reach out to anybody and almost instantly you'll get an answer. And if not, within a day or 2, you'll have the answer to any issue that you have. Alright, so I want to start off by talking about the main differences between the Surron and the Talaria, because although they may look exactly the same for the most part, there's some major differences between the bikes that you need to take into consideration before choosing one or the other. The first thing that you need to think about is that the Talaria has more power out of the box than the Surron has. So if you don't really plan on modding these bikes too much, I would definitely go with the Talaria for the simple fact that it comes with 6,000 watts out the box versus the 4,800 that the Sur Ron X comes with. Combined with the next thing that the Talaria has over the Surron, which would have to be the height. Now, I don't think this is that big of a deal. Like, I don't think it's that big of a plus that the Talaria is taller than the Surron. I like the mini moto, as you guys probably know. That's why I have these little tiny wheels and tires on here. But if you're a larger rider, I would highly recommend going with the Talaria for the simple fact that it'll probably feel a lot more comfortable to sit on. And the next thing, the bike weighs more, so therefore it won't feel like a little toy as much to you. Because this thing, bro, it feels like a toy. Although I love that feeling, some of you guys may not. It might think this thing feels just too, like, small and flimsy. And you might want to go with the Talaria because it feels a little bit stouter, basically. This is like a 2-inch wide sidewalk, bro. You ever seen a full sand? Right there. That was kind of like a slight uphill incline. That wasn't really flat. This thing is so fun though, man. Another key difference between the Surron and the Talaria is the fact that the Talaria has a different wheel hub than the Surron, so the wheels are not interchangeable. Now this is something that I learned pretty recently. Like, I was just looking into Talarias just to look into them. It'd be pretty cool to add one to the channel at some point once we could actually afford it. And I was curious if you could throw the mini motos on the Talaria, but I found out that the wheels are not interchangeable. They have different wheel hubs. Another super sick thing about the Talaria is the simple fact that it comes with an egg rider off rip. Like, I like the stock display on the Surron a lot. It tells you almost everything you need to know, but an egg rider is, from what I've seen so far, the ideal display for this bike. It's got the volts on it, which is super important once you have an aftermarket battery. It's got the motor temperature on it, which is also extremely important. It also allows you to calibrate different size wheels and stuff like that, which is something very cool that the Talaria can do off rip. Like if you put different size wheels and tires on the Surron, the speedo's not going to read accurately because you can't change like the settings in it. But on the Talaria, where it comes with an egg rider, you can do that from the rip. Now something else you should know about the Talaria is I don't think there's very many aftermarket batteries available for the bike yet. And I'm pretty sure that's because it has a different connector than the Surron. All the companies are just trying to get batteries produced for it and whatnot. Like you could not just plug in an aftermarket Surron battery into a Talaria unless you do some crazy modifications, which I've seen some people do, but I'm pretty sure you gotta basically splice wires to make it connect. Now there's quite a few more minor differences between the Surron and the Talaria. I'm not gonna talk about every minute detail, but the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that the Talaria has a power button. And I know this is pretty much like a mixed thing for most people. I personally don't think it's that cool of a feature, but at the same time, I mean, okay, so I appreciate the feature for what it is, but I think it's just kind of a useless feature. Like it just seems like extra steps for no reason. But it's just something I've seen a lot of people talk about, kind of a controversial take on what the Talaria did to turning the bike on and off. Let me know what you guys think about the power button on the Talaria. So hopefully after watching this video, you guys know the key differences between the Sur Ron X and the Talaria Sting and why we ended up going with the Surron over the Talaria. If there's anything that you think we missed, leave it down in the comments below. If there's anything that's unclear, let us know down in the comments below. Also, absolutely loving how the wrap on Dakota's bike looks. I mean, dude, it looks so crazy out in the sunlight.
We're gonna wrap up this video, guys. We appreciate all the love and support. Peace out. We'll see you in the next one.